Back in the shop with the old 350. In the last episode, we found a broken gear, a tooth in the oil pan, and so while we got a whole bunch of like internal stuff done with the engine, the front end has to be torn down, and we got to figure out what's broken in the gear set and replace a bunch of stuff.
We're hoping it's just a crank gear, but when it takes one tooth out, a lot of times it goes through the whole system. So if our cam gear is good, our accessory drive gear is good, then we'll just be able to replace that crank gear. I say just, it's a very big job trying to get that thing off. Probably gonna have to make tools, use a cutting torch, all that good stuff. But we're here now, we're gonna get some work done and see how far we can get.
Before we jump into more Peterbilt progress, let's thank the sponsor for this particular episode, which is Carly. Carly is a company that makes an OBD2 scanner, and it's really more than just a scanner. There are so many cool tools we want to take you and show you real quick. We are currently sitting in our 2011 Audi TDI, a little A3 hatchback that we've had for years, and this car has been pretty dang good. It's sitting at just over 100,000 miles, but it does have a few lights on the dash. So when Carly reached out, we were like, yes, let's do this, because it will be fun to run the diagnostics on this car. Like many of you, we really don't like taking stuff to the dealership, so when we see stuff pop up on our dash on our newer cars that have all the electronics, we have both the feeling of I want to learn about fixing this and dread, because a lot of this newer stuff is harder to work on. But there's a section in this app that gives you the opportunity to be able to learn about whatever problem it is. It can run the diagnostics, and then it has a section where it can actually tell you info on if you want to do the repair yourself, which is pretty neato. Found issues. Nice. Oh, and 14 of those have smart mechanic guides. That's pretty cool.
See what this one is. Starter control feedback signal plastic current at 90,000 miles.
A short circuit.
Well, it says I should react immediately, and it was 10,000 miles ago. I guess I missed that.
10,000 miles ago. Okay.
Oh,
it'll give you a Google link to read about it.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Terminal 50 short circuit. Okay, we've replaced the battery, so that's what that one is. It gives you a lot of information.
So while Aaron is exploring those various codes, we've never taken the car to the dealership, and we've had it for 6-7 years.
Oh, probably so.
I can see how if you had this little unit in the car with you, you could plug it in and it could bring you some peace and some information, and at least know where to start if you decided to take it to the dealership or a mechanic.
So one feature I really like on this Carly app is the maintenance. I have a very hard time keeping track of the maintenance on my vehicles. That is really cool that with this device you can go in, change your own oil, do your service, and you can log it all here. But the coolest thing is with this little Audi, I've changed the oil many times and never knew how to turn off the service soon light. So now I no longer have a little wrench on my dashboard.
One of the things about the Carly scanner is it has manufacturer level ability. So just like the dealership would be able to go in and do all this after they do the servicing, we can do that here with this app, which is so cool. Carly also has a 14-day money-back guarantee for the scanner-only purchase and a lifetime warranty on the actual device itself. Note that the scanner purchases bundled with a license are non-refundable because the scanner is actually provided free with the purchase. If you're interested in scooping up one of these Carly scanners, there is a link in our description, and you can use the code FLYING15 to get yourself 15% off. Thank you so much, Carly, for sponsoring this episode.
No.
A nail. Where the cotter pin's supposed to be?
Yeah.
Honestly remarkable how well stuff comes off this truck.
Yeah, it's shocking.
Like, what?
Some old school Permatex there. Makes me think the core on this radiator might have been redone 40 years ago. Our bolts are out, the grill and the radiator. So let's go up top, unhook anything up there we can see, and get the forklift over here.
So are we picking up the grill
The guard
first?
first.
So there's this big bracket that comes out right here that might work.
Yeah, I think there.
It's almost like we could pick that up by hand. Is that insanely heavy?
No, it's not very heavy. My recent back stuff.
Oh,
If we got a forklift, why not use it?
that's true.
And by the way, back's doing much better. I just strained the muscle in it, so a few days of rest, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling just good enough to injure myself again, so I gotta be careful.
Yes, good point, good point. With Aaron hurting his back and the kid and I doing a bunch of the heavy lifting, or all the heavy lifting on building the Cummins, picking those heads up, watching myself during the editing process, I realized I too was picking things up wrong. Like a lot of y'all highlighted in the comment section, Emily, you're not supposed to pick up with your back, pick up with your legs. So I realized through watching myself pick heavy things up with my back, like bending straight over and keeping my legs straight, not a good thing. So yeah, I gotta work on that. Sound like wires are hilarious. I don't do this very often, but one of those things. You think you hit record, you didn't. The radiator is out, front of the truck is empty. It was probably like one of the best shots ever.
Yeah.
No, it was just Aaron and I finagling the radiator out. It was actually pretty tight coming through those frame rails, so.
Yeah, it's supposed to take the fan off and we didn't.
Yeah, the shroud kept kind of catching on the fan, but we got it. Just took some wiggling and it's out. Nice. All right, grill guard coming off.
We should have done this first, but we didn't. We need a wrench on the bottom.
As a reminder, we have Permatex to thank for this entire build series on this 53 iron nose Peterbilt. So be sure when you're at the parts store, when you're online shopping, whatever, grab Permatex products to say thank you to them. And a comment down below never hurts either.
Oh, look.
Wow.
There's an engine. Up there.
It's all taken apart.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy. Wow. Now you can just work on it like this.
Right. Fan hub bearing feels pretty good.
If you're an avid viewer of our channel, you will know that we did not make our episode last week, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's right. My mother's been in the hospital. She got pretty sick and had to go in and do a procedure, and there's a long road ahead with that. But we spent quite a bit of time at the hospital. And when we weren't there, we were here trying to get an episode to you guys, and it just didn't work out. I mean, we had all kinds of things going. It was a kid's birthday. So when we weren't at the hospital, we went to a nice little fly-in here in East Texas. And then we had to go to a wedding too. So it's been a crazy week, but we got a lot of work done, and we're just gonna tie that into this episode and hopefully get this thing running for you guys. It's gonna run again because it has a grease zerk on it. Not a sealed bearing. This is meant to be serviced. I think what happens is this harmonic balancer just slides off. And then the hub that's underneath it, that's actually the wedge fit that we're gonna have to put a puller on.
Okay.
I'm glad the dog wasn't in there.
Me too. Finley, that could have been the end of your existence.
Okay, so here's the hub that's got to be pulled off. Right, yeah. And apparently those are a wedge and they can be tight, so we'll find out. All right, we know that bolt's not locked up because I tightened it when I was trying to get this engine to turn over. So it should come out fairly easy. Good. I don't see any rust in between the crankshaft and the hub. It's actually pretty clean in there. So, if we can rig a puller up. I got a feeling this puller's not going to be good enough. That puller threads into the crank. That's not good. Put our bolt back in it. We need some longer bolts for fine thread. Finding those, we'll just have to go see. Got our bolts, grade 5. See how that goes. I don't think this puller is big enough, but we gotta try it.
The retired torque wrench is putting in more work.
Let's turn the engine over. It's all coming apart anyway, so if we put heat on it and destroy a seal, it doesn't matter. We've got a new one, but I'm not totally sure heat's going to help it. Trying to heat the hub and not the crank. It's tight. It's real tight. We just ran out to my dad's shop. And apparently this is the puller that is designed to take that off. We're just sitting over on the shelf. And we'll lube up these threads and see if we can pull that thing off. And the bolts are coming out easy, so it's nice to know we didn't pull any threads. Looks like our bolts are still gonna be long enough too. That's really nice. And now I am gonna put my bolt back in the crank because this is pretty mangled up here. I don't wanna mess my threads up on the crank. That is not a problem we need right now. I'm gonna have to clean that up quite a bit, I think. It doesn't want to slide on there. Saw on the bolt before I put it back in, there was an indentation from a puller in the past. So you do pull it with the bolt in, or at least they did. Do anything I can not to tear his tools up.
Have you been to our merch store lately? You gotta grab an Optimus Grime shirt because we won't be making these for long. We've got a new shirt coming up, and we've got a Grandpa Grime classic 53 iron nose shirt coming soon too that's currently in design. So be sure you have an Optimus Grime shirt in your lineup, and Garfield and Donna the Jump Truck shirts are still in there, and we cannot thank you enough for supporting Flying Sparks Garage merch. Okay. Oh God. That's it. Okay. So when I was turning the engine over, Aaron was wedging where did it go?
Back at the back.
Oh. There it is. Aaron was wedging this 4x4 in here into the crank to make it not be able to turn over.
Yeah, that's right. So now we can actually put some pressure on this thing. You filming?
No. I was moving the camera. It's rolling now.
It's off. That bar hit me in the head when it came down. Actually, it hit me in the shoulder. That was fun.
I was moving the camera for a better angle. And I hadn't hit record yet, and he gave it a tug and it popped off. So, great job to Aaron, bad job to me, but...
The way it goes sometimes, you work on something 45 minutes and you make no progress, and then it just comes loose all of a sudden. So it's hard to be rolling all the time, but we got it. Now we can actually start tearing this engine down. That's exciting. Keyway stayed in place, good. Got a seal here we get to replace, seal down here. So now we'll jack the engine up, take the bolts out of the front cover. Guess I can get these bolts here out, I'll do that. These are the shims for the cam cap. That sets the lash on it, the thrust. So we'll put those in the driver floorboard of the truck.
10-4.
There's one more on the ground I need to get.
Okay.
I think I want to put a jack on it first. I'm sitting here looking at it and I'm afraid if I take those out, this will shift on me. So we'll get a bottle jack up on the bottom of the main bearing, main cap, not a bearing. Jack the engine up, then we can take this all apart. Cool. Our jack is between the front axle and the bottom part of the front main bearing. That is the strongest part of the block, so that's what we're using. Looks like maybe used to be some rubber in there sometime, but that's a grease zerk, so maybe you guys can clarify for me, why would you need grease between the solid mount and motor mount and the front cover?
Oh, hot nut coming at you.
Wire I have to deal with.
Okay, good to go. It's gonna be fun to get back in there too.
Yeah. Well, it's far enough out to get to those bolts.
Yeah, that's true.
That's all we were trying to do.
They're all out.
Yeah.
Yes. There's our gear set.
I'm not familiar with that gear. That's an idler that runs what used to be the generator over here. I'm only used to Cummins having this one, and this one. There's our missing tooth. Looks good in here.
It does. So how does the strength of all the other gears look?
It looks like the cam gear's got some wear on it, but I don't see a missing tooth, so probably get a lot more miles out of that. That's a tape job on here.
That's what's held it together for the last 60 years.
Yeah.
missing teeth on that one.
No. Sure looks like it to me. We'll get this engine turned over so that it's in time. Accessory drive bushing's a little worn out,
I
but
was gonna say movement, and that's pretty.
you've got those 2 dots there. There's 2 dots on it. Those will go with these 2 lines here. Go right in between there, like that. Those dots will aim between those 2 lines. And over here you've got a 0, and that will go on the bottom to this 0. So this dot and that 0 will line up. So once we get this spun to where it's right there, then we'll be in time.
Well, today was a success.
Yeah, I'm glad that pulley came off, that hub thing, the thing on the crank. I'm glad that came off. And we verified that it does look like the gear we have is the right one. So we're gonna call it quits for the day. We're gonna go see my parents and then go to the house and take a shower and clean up because we nasty.
We'll see you.
Hey. You can talk.
We'll see y'all tomorrow. Tomorrow.
So I got to get that gear off the front of the crank. I was talking to my dad. Luckily, this gear has 2 holes for bolts to go into it. The one we bought does not. He said the way he normally takes those off is he'll actually get a torch and cut little grooves in it, slowly knock metal away until it releases and comes out. And then of course we just heat the new gear up. We'll get this really hot and it'll expand it to the point where it should just slide on there. Might have to use a little bit of hammer force, but I'm trying to decide right now. These gears are tapered, and so in order for that gear to go on, it's gonna have to turn, which means probably the cam gear is gonna have to turn, because on the crank it's keyed. It's gotta go straight on. So the cam gear would have to turn to compensate for that rotation. So I don't know, maybe I should pull my fuel pump and my accessory drive off. That way the cam gear is just free moving in there, because of course we have nothing hooked up. All we have is the push rods in there. So that'd allow the cam followers to move. But I haven't decided yet. First we're gonna get some bolts, get it on this bottom gear, the main crank gear, try to get that pulled off. And then we'll decide how to put that other one on. But we'll see. We're just trying to get it done. Okay, time to rotate. Okay, so the 0 and the 0 do line up with each other, and that is in time. The cam is in time with the crankshaft. The accessory drive, this is the way it's supposed to be. If you count these teeth, it lines up with this once you rotate the engine a little bit. So that is perfectly in time, and the accessory drive is in time. So we can pull that crank gear off now, and we know everything's in time. I couldn't find the right length bolt in a grade 8, so I'm wondering if my bolts are just sitting there stretching. I marked the threads down here so that I can see if it was starting to pull out of the gear itself. I think what I'll do now is I'll get a torch on it and we'll get that gear really hot while it has tension on it.
Just so y'all know, I asked him if he wanted gloves or anything, and he said no. My girls were just over here visiting while Aaron goes and cuts that gear off the crank. It's freaking intense.
It was crazy.
And the kid was like, there's sparks hitting his glasses. I'm like, I know. I asked him if he wanted safety stuff. He's too much of a freaking cowboy over there. Getting it done. Yay. This is wonderful.
Round of applause for Aaron over here.
Bravo.
This needs to go outside.
Maybe throw it in a tub of water.
Yeah. All right, how about it'll tear my crank up?
Not bad. I mean, it got warm, but shoot, man. And then what's that back there? Is that like a little divot in the seal?
Oh, I didn't cut that crank at all. There's not a single nick in
I
it.
mean, it got warm, but shoot, man.
That's just the crankshaft back there. But right here's where I was cutting, and there's not even a nick in the crankshaft.
Dude, you're a beast.
Nice.
Nice. Dude, that's
This is where
amazing.
the chisel hit the crank. That divot right there. It's on a part that doesn't matter.
Big deep breath. It's off.
All right. Cool.
That's a big relief.
Yes. Yeah, that is risky business trying to cut that with a torch. You're liquefying everything, but you don't want to hit the crank itself. So it's just tedious work trying to just blow metal out. We got it. The crank looks beautiful, and we're done for the day. That's it. It's all my heart can handle. I think I got that front cover cleaned up as much as I want to. It is time to heat that gear up to put it on. That's a shrink fit. So basically you got to get the gear really, really hot, slide it on there. As it cools down, that's what actually makes it stick. There's no bolt or anything like that. It's just literally a zero tolerance fit. So I got my camp chef out, the one that we use in the race trailer. I'm gonna fire that thing up and see if we can get this gear heated up. Fingers crossed, it'll just go on and we'll be moving on to other stuff. While I'm waiting on that gear to heat up, I'm actually gonna revisit that turbo. I got online and managed to find an overhaul kit for it that has that square aluminum piece I broke. Oh, broke it. That's actually a bushing that goes all the way through it. So fingers crossed I can knock this apart. Sometimes they're really tough, but I'm gonna give it a shot, see if we can get it rebuilt.
Muffins are ready?
Yep, it's been at almost 550 for about 2 hours. This will be hot. We're still gonna give it some heat. Try it out, hopefully it's hot enough. So we got the gear on. I did not get it hot enough. If I had, it would have just slid on, everything would have been cool. We had to use a hammer, but it's okay, it's on, it's where it needs to be. It's in time. Next thing, there's an extra gear set on the front of this engine that runs a generator. Comes through the front cover, so my gasket's not the right one. So just talked to my dad, and he said I think the best thing would be just silicone it on, and then we'll have to re-shim the cam gear because that's got a cap that goes over the end of the cam that takes shims. So I'll probably have to remove one of those shims or add one to it. We'll see how it goes. Just to get that cam shimmed right, but I think we're doing good. It's nice to have that part done, at least.
While Aaron was doing important stuff, I was cleaning the front cover. I scraped off all the junk on the front of it, cleaned out the inside from when Aaron cleaned the gasket off, and then I painted it so it looks kind of spiffy. It'll look good on the front of the engine. The accessories are all still rusty, but oh well. Little by little, it's looking better. And the most important thing is that it runs good, so we're excited to hear that thing crank up, finally. Progress. Well, I have just arrived to the shop from the gym, and Aaron is getting these rocker boxes all bolted down, right?
Yeah, that's right. I want to spin the engine over a few times with the gear train just to make sure it's all meshing, it's all happy. And it's gonna be a lot easier if these valves are working the way they're supposed to. So I'm just gonna lightly tighten these down. The whole time I'm doing that, I'm looking down in here with a flashlight to make sure that my push tubes are in the right place, because with this style rocker boxes, it's really easy for one of your push tubes to be up on the edge of the little cup. And when you do that, and which I've done it a handful of times, not paying attention, it'll break the side of that push tube out. So we're just gonna watch with a flashlight, make sure everything's going down super easy, make sure nothing's binding, nothing's getting tighter than it should. I always do this with a ratchet, a 3/8 ratchet, because a 1/2 inch, even that, I've got a little bit too much torque. I can't really feel what's going on. So I'm just gonna ease these down. And like I said, keep looking down in there, make sure nothing's in a bind and we're not gonna break anything.
Time to keep seeing this engine come together.
It's funny. We're not gonna have to do a lot of setting on these valves. They're pretty darn close. Just the ones that I can feel that are up. That's cool. It means things are put together right. That's cool. I can already tell that these valves are pretty close to being adjusted. And that's something I've learned over time with lots of experience. If you're running any of these adjusters very far, even after you have it apart and the push rods go back in different places, if you're adjusting things very much, you need to look a little bit closer because you probably got something wrong. But these all feel great, so I think it's put together right. We'll know more once we get a feeler gauge in there, but I can tell you from a lot of experience, those are pretty darn close. So we have 2 gaskets for this. I bought 2 complete gasket sets to make sure we had everything we needed. However, this is a different Cummins than most of them. It's got this accessory drive gear right here that runs what would have been the generator, alternator, but there were generators on these. It goes through the front cover. Because of that, our gasket doesn't fit. So in talking to my dad, I kind of knew the answer already, and he said just use RTV on it. It's arguable that it may do a better job than a gasket, honestly. However, it's going to change some things. So this cover is going to be further in because the gasket has some thickness to it. So we're going to have to re-shim our cam gear because on these trucks, the cam gear has a, I don't know what you call it. It's a plug right here that pushes up against the end of the camshaft. That's got shims on it, so we're gonna have to change those shims to make sure that the lash is okay on our cam so it doesn't move back and forth too much or that it's not too tight. But for now, we're gonna put Permatex Ultra Black. I really like this stuff. This is designed for applications that have a lot of oil, which clearly this does. And my experience has been that this is about the best product for that. So that's what I'm choosing to use. And we're gonna get this thing glued on there.
So before we install this front cover, Aaron said he wants to rotate the engine a full 360 degrees to make sure everything rotates the way he wants to see it.
I don't know if I'm just weak or if I hit a hard spot. Damn sure it gets tight right there.
Grab me a paint pen. I don't know if it's a crank gear binding it or if it's something else, so. Sometimes you can just have a little piece of dirt or something somewhere you can't see. You just got to pull through. This compressor's not been off. There's no telling what's going on in there. But I just want to get a good feel of it. So we're coming up on those gears that hung us up last time. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go with less pressure past them. That way I'm not just powering through it and not feeling what's going on. Okay, right there, I still feel something. So we're gonna look at that gear very closely. If I just powered through that, I probably wouldn't have felt it, but because I took it easy, we kind of know that there's something binding there. Something right there that doesn't feel quite right. It's turning through nicely, it's just right there it catches.
And that's not just the compression of the
No,
rotation?
it's very hard to explain what I'm doing, but when I'm just pulling it, it just blows through whatever's holding it up. But consistently, when it gets to those 3 marks, those blue marks I put on there, it just gets a tad bit tighter and I can feel it. So what's happening here is I got a little bit overzealous with the hammer. I was having trouble getting it in here, so it turned sideways at some point and I actually damaged those gears. Half of you are gonna think I'm crazy for putting a grinder on this. The other half of you have been out in the field and worked on big equipment, and you know, stuff's pretty hardy. It can take a little bit of cleaning up. So what's happened is these 3 gears right here, they're flared out just a tiny bit, enough to cause it to bind. So we're just gonna take this down a little bit right there on the edge. Now the pad and the bulk of our gear is still gonna be good, but just right here on these corners where I hit it, I'm gonna have to take that metal out of there. It's way different than cars, guys. This is big tolerances, lots of clearance, and so this will work just fine. You know, I'm always talking about, well, I'm at the shop for Emily, she's at the gym. Well, it's my turn. I finally bought me an in-home gym and I've been working out.
I think your muscles are already bigger.
Maybe. So I just pushed through with butter, pulled through, whatever you want to call.
Oh, good.
This is the other ones that were not giving us trouble. After the first pull through, those freed up. Easy. Perfect. Okay, so let me find my 0 on there. We'll go ahead and put it in time.
All right, I just got our 0 with the paint pen right there, so. Yeah.
All right, it lines up. This thing is turning through like brand new. Feels so good. That keyway's all the way up. Those marks are on. This one is not gonna be on. These two will never be lined up if that's on. This keyway is meant to face to the passenger side. When it goes on, that'll give us our numbers up here that we use for setting the valves. So everything feels great to me. I'm ready to put the front cover on. Those gears being a little bit nicked up, for you automotive guys, I know that just seems absolutely crazy, but it's not. I mean, we're dealing with giant teeth, lots of room, and so sometimes you gotta clean stuff up, especially when you're doing transmission work or rear end work. It's just such hard work, and especially if you don't have the right tools like we don't have here, sometimes you mess things up a little bit. But there's a way to clean it up, and that will run forever. The newer trucks, specifically the Detroits, and bear in mind when I say newer trucks, I mean the last 20 years. The front cover and the rear cover were assembled from the factory with glue. It's actually a Permatex product. It was an anaerobic red stuff we call grape jelly. And there were no gaskets, literally just glue. I think that's a wonderful product. It'll never dry on its own. You've got to take the oxygen away. So when you put the cover or whatever on, it takes all the oxygen away and then that stuff gets hard. I'm using this because I'm not 100% confident that this is all straight and perfect. So it's more likely to take up the gaps and still dry.
Look who just showed up. Me. The kid. Yep. Front cover incoming.
Yeah.
That thing looks pretty handsome, I gotta say.
Yeah, you did a good job.
Thanks, babe.
So I put our new crank seal in. It's a newer style. It's rubber instead of that old Teflon. And this seal up here, for some reason I didn't realize we needed that seal. So I ordered that yesterday, but I went ahead and took it out because it's easier to get it out when the cover's off.
Do you need extra hands?
No, I think I'm okay. There's a bearing right here that we're gonna hang there. So that'll mostly hold it. And then we got dowels.
Okay.
So, yep, I think it's ready.
That thing is heavy.
Yeah. Come on, baby. There we go. So we have a dowel right here and down here. That's where we'll hammer. Cool. It is on. Didn't have to do anything special with that seal because the sealing surface is actually on the hub. So when we put that in, it'll seal. Same thing with this. Put the seal in, and then the hub actually has the sealing ring on it. So this is what I was talking about, the cam cap. This will have to be re-shimmed. So now that we don't have a gasket, that cam is going to be pushed too far out, and it'll get in a bind if we just throw it back on there with the same amount of shim. So we'll have to remove one of them, check it. What I'll do is I'll mic the gasket and then try to account for the fact that it's going to be crushed a little bit, and then mic my different shims that I have and try to find one that's similar. I'll take that shim out, then I'll get underneath it with the pry bar and I'll slide that cam back and forth to kind of get a feel of it. Oh, time for bolts. I like it. So here's our cap. It goes in it's a little plug that goes in the end of the camshaft. This is the stack of shims that they had on it. And I'm measuring this gasket about 46 thousandths, but we got to figure that's going to crush a little bit. So I want to remove about 40, I'm going to go down to 43 thousandths. See if I've got that amount of shims in here. Okay. That's 30 thousandths. There you go. That's 43, that stack right there. Yep. So we're going to leave these out. We don't put our O-ring on just yet. We'll use this stack, and then we'll get underneath it and actually check that cam to make sure it's got plenty of play.
How'd that feel?
You know, the right way to do this is not have the rocker boxes tightened down because you have those springs putting pressure on the cam. So I'm having a hard time getting an accurate reading, but I just want to double check my math. We removed 39 thousandths.
You said 43 initially.
When I test fit it, I went ahead and removed one more shim because I didn't like the way it felt.
Okay.
So if I really put some pressure on that, we're at 38 and a half thousandths is gone. So where's that gasket at? 45 thousandths. If I put more shims in it, it'll give us more movement. My brain was not working earlier. Because we're not using the gasket, our front cover is going 45 thousandths further in. So that means I need 45 thousandths more shim to put it back where they had it, which may not have been right. So we're gonna put all the shims back in and then we're gonna check our front to back movement of this camshaft. So we finally figured it out. That's the unseen challenges of shooting video all the time, is my brain's not fully engaged in what I'm doing because I'm thinking about you guys too. So not a problem, just a thing. So we'll put our shims back in it. It's kind of interesting, this little cam cover, one side the bolt is fine thread, the other side is coarse. I don't know why they did it that way, but they did. There it goes. You hear that?
Yeah.
That was the cam sliding. Should feel the crankshaft slide and the cam. And my light just went dead. Okay, that's about where I want it to be. If we wanted to test that and see that it was by the books, we'd put a dial indicator up in there where you saw me moving that camshaft back and forth. Put a dial indicator on it where you can see the little thing and it would tell you exactly how many thousandths that's moving. I don't know what it's supposed to be, but I know that it's got a little bit of movement and that's what we need. We just don't need it binding. It's not moving so far that it's gonna sit there and rattle back and forth and stuff like that. So we don't have the tools here to check it, the dial indicator, all that stuff, but I can tell you from experience that is just about where it needs to be. So we're rolling with that. So I just marked my little things because they're really hard to see on here. So we've got C, B, and A. And I'm looking at my chart over here. And on C, we're gonna set 6 or 1 valve. B, we're gonna set 3 or 4. And A, we're gonna set 5 or 2. So that's our valves. The other numbers over here, that's when you set the injectors. So we don't have the seal yet, so we can put that on there and just kind of get it mocked up so we know where to turn it to set these valves. So we got our keyway here. I can't put this on because I don't have a seal, but I need to be able to see these little indications of where I set my valves at. So this is our mark we're trying to line it up with. So if we turn it back just a little bit, we'll be lined up. And according to this, we should be able to set number 1 on 1 intake and probably number 6 exhaust. No, looking at it wrong. Okay, it gets confusing because the intake valves are always on the inside. So we're setting number 1 exhaust and number 6 intake valve. So we'll get those set, then we'll roll it to the next one to B, and we'll set those 2. So we'll go through this engine twice to get everything set. Because on every letter, like on C, you're gonna set 1 intake and 1 exhaust. Then the next time you come around to C, you'll set the other intake and the other exhaust. Cool. Alrighty then.
That looks nice.
Yeah, I got it cleaned up. Got a little lube on there for our O-ring. That's a rubber O-ring, so you'll want to put a little bit of lube on it. If it's Teflon, do not put lube on it. They got to be dry. So I don't see any timing marks or anything. I wouldn't expect there to be. And this is just a wedge fit, so I don't like this being in my way. There it is. Okay, where's my big bolt?
That is a big bolt.
I'm gonna put a little bit of juice on here just to give it some lubrication. Now, where's my assembly lube at?
Up there.
Up on the windshield.
Here you go.
I just put a little assembly lube on that washer. I don't want anything binding up. Now let's find an O-ring for this. We'll see. I'll dig through them. Got my genuine Caterpillar gaskets. I'm gonna try to give this Cummins some hope of lasting. Not as big as I want it to be, but it'll work. Yep, it grabs, you can hear it. Put a little RTV on that to help it out because we don't have the right O-ring, but it's gonna work. And my RTV. Okay.
He's tightening the rocker boxes right now. He realized that those weren't tight yet, so before we can check the tune, gotta have those tight.
Yep. So if you look up the valve adjustment specs on this, the lash, you'll get a lot of answers because Cummins gives you a lot of leniency on what you can set them at. I'm going to set mine at 11 thousandths for the intake valves and 23 for the exhaust. So I've got a 18 here and a 5 thousandths. I've learned with these older Cummins that they just run a little bit smoother if the valves are a tiny bit tighter. So we'll set number 1 exhaust. And we didn't have to go down that far with it. Remember what I was saying earlier. If you got to do a lot of adjusting, something's wrong, take another look. I like it right there. And these nuts are so big that set it a little bit tighter than you think it's going to be because that's going to pull up a little bit. And that's what I want. So seeing that we just set that exhaust, that means number 6, we're going to set the intake. Perfect. Now I need a paint pen, and we got to rotate the engine.
Kid's gonna turn the engine over. I'm landlocked because of the dog. I would work, but he's so happy here. So I just have to stay right here.
Doing good. Come on with it. A little more. See what we're doing over here. We're lining this dot up, or this line up with this. A little more. Yep. So according to my marks, we are 3 and 5, correct? So count down 3 cylinders, see which one's loose. Okay. Our exhaust is loose. This is cylinder number 5, so our intake, the inside one, should be loose. That one's way too loose. So we'll take a look at that, make sure everything's cool.
It's this line with this line? Or this?
They're the same line, but I feel like you need to go back a little bit.
From my perspective, yeah.
Yeah, then back it up a little bit. Just get it where you're comfortable. This stuff is, diesels have so much clearance. Definitely turning over easier than it was.
I feel like that's straighter.
Yeah, it looks pretty good from this angle.
Okay.
All right. We're very loose. And doesn't surprise me. Old timer set these pretty loose. Magnetic screwdriver. Sticking to everything except going where it needs to go. It's a little bit looser than I want it to be, just a smidge, so I'm gonna allow the screw to turn with it while I tighten it down.
Okay.
Like that right there. That's it. That's it. It's supposed to be at 11 thousandths, it's at about 30, so I'm just gonna double check everything's right here. This looks good. Got push tube seated. They're not bent. I checked them all before I put them in. They're all true and straight. So we just adjust it. Okay, that one's a tad bit too tight. Let's see how that goes. Yeah, that's right where I want it.
TK and I did arms this morning in the gym, so now she's getting
Sounded funny.
more.
It's
I
that
know, isn't
air
that
compressor.
Funny and gurgly
Pumping air.
sounding.
Yeah. That's too far.
And back it up a little bit. And our next valves set are number 2 and number 5.
I think that's straighter.
Works for me.
Okay.
Okay, this one was very close. It was too tight, but it was very close. I just backed it off a tiny bit. And number 2, we're setting the intake valve on this round. Okay, that one's, I'm trying to set it at 23. It's at about 35. But this engine specs, you can do them to 35. Okay, now you're going to roll it a lot further around until you get back to that original mark. And that'll allow us to set the other valves. Hang on just a second.
Okay.
I see a new mark there I don't have marked. That.
This?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's about lined up perfectly, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm. Let's see what it says.
What? That's 3. That's a. I see a 3 looking thing there.
Okay.
Unless it's reading.
I think I can see an A. So that is probably where we're actually timing it. This is top dead center. This is where the valves need to be set. So
I stopped it perfect.
yep, you're perfect there.
Yeah, that's like.
So where we
dead
set
on.
1 and 6 last time, we'll go back and check them. It's probably not going to be any difference, but makes sense because when I put that pulley on, I had to rotate it just a tiny bit to get that to line up, and that wasn't making sense to me. And it's because there's an additional mark here. Mm-hmm. This is A, and then B, and then C, probably. 1 and 6. Yep. So we got our intake valve and our exhaust valve. So I'm glad I saw that.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we should be able to set number 6 exhaust.
Last time you guys saw TK, the kid, Alaya, she was 13. Now,
I'm 14.
she's 14!
Yeah,
She had a birthday.
I did.
And we went to Reclaw, which is a big grass strip in East Texas. And it's a big fly-in that we love going to. And that's what she always wants to do for her birthday. So we went out there and it was so much fun. And she's that much closer to her driver's license.
Means we gotta start on my truck.
I was thinking pilot's license.
Yeah, I'm even closer to that.
Pretty awesome.
Okay. Rotate.
This one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let's go to that next mark. It's hard to read on there, but what numbers did I write on it?
And it, maybe I have no idea.
3 and 4. No.
I have no general idea.
2.
That's a 2. That, no clue. Maybe,
How about
6?
2 and 4?
Okay.
That's what I got loose. We'll go with that.
All right.
So I've got our hub here remarked. Basically, I found a picture online and looked at it where C, A, and B is supposed to be, and just kind of visually looked at it, and there were marks in those areas. So now we're going to start over because I think I had some things mismarked. And so, try again. I'm going to turn the C around so she can see it. Okay, now we can rotate. Three and 4. We got all the valves adjusted. Remarking the accessory drive seemed to be the trick. Just took that picture off the internet and chased around until I found the marks, marked them, everything was right. Everything's right now. It's all set. Typically what you would do is set the injectors first because it has a preload, so it can actually lift the rack a little bit if there's any wear in there. I did not set the injectors. That does need to be done, but I'm still a little bit foggy on exactly how to set them, and there's a special tool. They basically preload down to, I believe, around 70 inch-pounds. So I haven't done that yet. I've got to talk to my dad. We may start it up the way it is. It's not going to be a catastrophic failure. It may just not run quite as strong on each cylinder. So we're going to leave it that way for now, stack some more stuff up, and start getting this closer to hitting the key on it.
Intake is going on. Looks nice. One of the things that we saw when we first bought the truck was that the cab mounts are gone, and the cab is actually sitting on the frame and on the battery box. So we can't access the battery box. So we're going to try and change that now because we're that close with the engine that we need the battery box.
Right.
Aaron just said he's been doing a lot with his back and he can feel it. And as we all know, a couple weeks ago, I guess it was week before last, his back was acting a fool after he tweaked it, picking up one of the Cummins heads. So I'm gonna be doing this.
Yeah.
Let me move it up. Ready?
Wow.
Dang!
More poop.
Oh, more poop!
I'm very glad they're in here so I can see how it's wired.
Babe, they have cat batteries in them.
Yeah. So my boy thought he was running Caterpillar. He painted it Caterpillar yellow and put Caterpillar batteries in. Oh, well, these are probably still good. It says low maintenance right there.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Okay, so we got a negative wire going up front.
Look how exposed it is. Like the casing on it.
Yeah.
Animals.
There's a date on that battery. 1985.
Wow.
So they at least tried to start it in 1985.
And the license plate says 86 on it.
I believe it said 83, didn't it?
Oh, 83?
We'll even go look.
Yeah, it should. I love being right. It happens rarely, but I was right. 86. That's gonna do it for today's progress. We'll see y'all tomorrow for more action. Well, looky there, we're back. Aaron is right down here and he's about to pull some battery cables off.
So I think what we're looking at is 4 6-volt batteries. So we've got this running in series, so it multiplies that. I believe we're working with a 12-volt system, but they're 6-volt batteries. So I think one 12-volt battery at least will let us know if the starter's working. This is our ground wire going to the starter, and this is our positive going to the starter. So I'm gonna take those off, and that should get us kind of in the direction we need to go. Go our battery off the grime. Set it out here and put those cables on it. Okay. And you'll get a battery and put it on here. The positive cable doesn't have any messed up areas on the sheathing, but obviously the negative does, but it doesn't matter because it's the negative. We're going to replace all this, but we just need to see if the starter's going to work, because at some point today I'd like to spin this engine over and start the cranking process, but I need to know if the starter's good first. So we'll test that out, and then if we need one, we'll either take that apart, rebuild it, or we'll just go buy another one. Okay, it didn't explode, that's good.
Definitely getting some field mechanic action here because our posts were different with this newer style battery, and he is making it work.
Yeah, there's no point in spending money on lugs and everything because these cables are very, very temporary. So here's my little exciter wire. So in theory, if I arc these, it should try.
Definitely picking up here. I just told Aaron, the click sounds like it's happening in this bottle jack looking thing that's mounted to the firewall. I don't know what it is.
Well, the Bendix is working, but it is not even thinking about spinning. May need more juice. Okay, we need a starter. It's got two giant lugs going to it, straight from the batteries. None of it goes down to the starter. And it looks like one of the exciter wires does go to that little machine there, which is why it's getting feed to it. But I've got those two giant lugs going into this thingamajig, but nothing from this goes down to the starter. So this is not part of the starter. All I can figure, and I have no clue what I'm looking at, but I'm thinking that is something that reduces power to the truck down to 6 volts, but I don't know. All I know is that starter's not turning.
Yeah.
So I need to pull it out. We'll save that top wire until we get the starter on the ground. Go ahead and take this one off. It's just a ground wire that goes over to the frame. I'm looking at my starter bolts here, and I think those are like a 15-16.
Okay.
Newer truck starters had a 5/8 12 point that went right there. Much smaller bolt head, so it's easier to get an impact in there. That is an old looking starter.
This is a wrench, a 15/16 wrench, but I know that we're probably looking for the impact.
Well, that's the wrong size anyway, so I think let's try 13/16.
Okay.
7/8, that's the trick.
Yay.
Now let's see how tight this bad boy is. Oh, easy.
Said no one ever about a starter bolt.
Yeah, especially one this size.
Yeah.
The snout on this looks the same. We may be able to put like a 42 MT on it, like Grimes got.
That would be lucky.
Yeah, a little bit modern. They work better. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm good to go.
If you're lucky, it's like mine. They'll come pretty loose.
It was not tight.
Yeah.
Wow. This joker's almost out. Done.
Now, fun part.
You want my assistance? No. Dang.
Okay.
Like a boss.
Yeah. Here's my hat. Look like a hobo. Okay, so I put 12 volt to this and ground to this. This was working with Bendix. So did I have it hooked up wrong? And this needed power as well, because maybe that's the lug that runs the motor itself.
So we can hook it up straight to the battery now to see?
I don't know. See, what tripped me out is I'm used to one of these being positive and one being negative. Normally, the negative would go to here, this side, so it's grounded there on the body, and this one went over the frame. So I'm thinking maybe power went to both of these, and this one grounded through the frame. So there may not be anything wrong with the starter, but it's better to have it out here on the floor so we can clean it up. Looks to be in good condition. So that's the Bendix.
Oh, heck yeah.
That's what, when we had grime, that's what was
Stuck out.
locking it up. It was stuck out.
Yep.
The motor was locked up on the starter. So we'll get some jumper cable, send some juice to her. That works kind of. It's working. It just needs power to that one. So now that we got it out and cleaned it up, that's actually a 24-volt starter. So the little bottle jack on the firewall must be some kind of device that reduces it down to 12 volts. So we're not going to run 24 volts. So I'm going to track down a starter, get a new one on it because, man, I'm telling you, I know I could take that apart, clean it up, wire it up to 12 volts, it'd probably work. But starter problems, I hate. When I'm trying to diagnose other stuff and the starter's turning slow, not working the way I want it to, it drives me absolutely insane. So we're gonna track down a 12-volt starter, get it in here, and then we'll be able to spin this over. All right, so we're gonna mark one tooth and start counting how many tooth this starter is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there's 11 teeth on the starter. Now we'll get a measurement across here. They're probably all the same, but I'm gonna check it anyways and see if I can find one of these. Looks like she's 4 inches across on this aluminum adapter thing. Probably the new starter won't have this. We'll have to reuse this piece. From the back of that adapter to the snout, we're measuring the original flange here, the back of that. Looks like it's about 4.5 inches. So 4 inches diameter, 4 inches long. This is old corroded aluminum, so we gotta be careful. That is working better than it should. Those are normally very stuck.
That's kind of been the theme with this truck.
Yeah, I know it. You'd never believe it's been off the road for 40 years.
Amazing.
So I've not found the exact starter. Obviously, like I said earlier, 24 volt, and I don't want 24 volt. The whole truck's 12 volt, and the starter's 24. So we're gonna put a more modern starter on it. But I'm trying to figure out the size of the snout. 42 MT is a very common starter that's like on Optimus Grime. So I think I'm just gonna go get one of those and see if it all measures out. I do know we have 11 teeth here, which also is the same as Grime. So we'll just figure it out. We'll get something, see if it works. If not, we'll go back to the drawing board.
I can order one and have it here tomorrow. So we can see it.
Yeah, let's do that. We just got back from the other shop and we have our accessory drive seal. Just came in the mail. So this is a Teflon seal. You see there, these have to be put in dry and they're very particular. It's got this little installer tool. So if you're pushing it up on something, this expands the seal so it doesn't get folded back. You can see there, very easily get folded the wrong way. You don't have that problem with rubber seals, but these are very particular. So luckily on ours, we're gonna install the seal and then push the hub through here. So we're not gonna have that trouble with it trying to bend back on us. So I'm gonna get this seal in. I just painted the accessory drive pulley. It's right there. Once that dries, we'll get it put on here and that's one step closer. We did get a starter ordered. I don't know if it's gonna be the right one. I do know the measurements look similar and it's got 11 teeth like I need it to. So fingers crossed. O'Reilly should have it around 4:30, I think they said it'd come in. And we ordered 2 different ones just to make sure we get the right one. So we'll get this stuff put together. The girls are gonna clean up the oil pan and some bolts and things like that. Hopefully we can get that oil pan on, get these accessories on, and then this thing's ready to start. We're gonna leave the valve cover off. We're gonna leave the intake tube off. And I'm probably not even gonna put the turbo or exhaust manifold on it right now. A lot of times when we're diagnosing one, trying to find a bad injector, we leave the exhaust manifold off anyways. That way we can put our hand down there and see how hot each cylinder is. So we're just gonna keep on moving along. We had some lunch, feeling good, feeling ready. So I'm gonna get some work done. All right, we're gonna take that tool out because we don't need it. Like I said, that hub's gonna push through, and the hub actually has the wear ring or whatever you want to call it on there. And when I push it through this way, it's not gonna get that cylinder bind. So we can just install this. All right, didn't dent anything, looking good. And now I'm just gonna get a bolt with a flat end on it. I'm gonna ease that around. Happy with that, that looks even all the way around. It's not dented up, it's not twisted. That's gonna run just fine.
Thank you. Okay.
Still doing good?
Yep. Top one.
Good?
Yeah. Bottom?
Yep.
Oh. I think you took it off.
I had to turn it because my socket wouldn't fit.
Oh. Okay. No. Yep. No. Okay, yeah.
Good. Order should be getting close.
Whew. I like your shot, babe.
Yeah?
That's pretty cool.
I'm a creative and a mechanic.
Every time I take it out of this thing, I find something else.
So I've got a gap between my motor mount here and the actual front cover. See that gap? So tell me what's going on there. If any of you guys know, did there used to be a rubber in there, or is that just metal on metal and it's just worn down? That bottom horseshoe piece, it has definitely been worn. And I don't have a milling machine. I'm trying to talk Emily into getting one so that I can weld that kind of stuff and then mill it back out the right size. So let me know, does that need rubber, or should I just re-weld that, have somebody mill it?
Almost have the oil pan tidied up. I've wiped out all of the gunk and just kind of cleaned it. Then I'm going to take some of the parts cleaner and degreaser and get it really super spiffy.
Found any more engine parts?
No, thankfully I didn't. No, I don't think I think it's poop.
Yeah, it definitely looks a lot like a turd. If you're hearing noise in the background, it's because we got some people over there working on the big boat. Big surprise coming up with that. But I can tell you the part that I'm going to be sitting on is going to be a lot more comfortable and pretty.
Well, I
Guess we have one can less of this now.
Good thing we had an extra paint can because we were getting low.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Sorry, Stuart.
Yep.
Oh, it's cold. It's really cold. Dang, I've never seen that happen.
Never.
That's crazy.
That's exciting.
Good thing I bought a case. No,
I'm
we're
not
gonna-
opening that one.
Oh, well, I'm going to film, so you have to open it in case it's exciting.
Oh, it's gonna hit me.
No explosion.
It's time to work on the oil pan gasket. Yes, I'm aware this is a wood chisel. This is not a scraper. However, if you've got self-control and a steady hand, this is the very best thing for scraping off old paper gaskets, in my opinion. If you go cutting into it, it will stick in the metal, but pay attention to what you're doing. It is a very good tool. Possible that's clocked right?
Wow,
Yeah.
That's pretty darn close.
it sort of is. That's funny. Aaron is officially under the truck. The new starter is going in. Okay. Howdy, sir.
Ah,
I've got my bolt ready whenever you give me the go ahead.
okay. Hang on just a minute. That is too loose in that hole.
Yeah, it's not covering up the same section that the other one was.
But the bolt holes were the same?
I'm not sure. This top one looked like it would be the same, but
Yeah.
I could see rust right here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it just needed to be rotated around more, but
There's an aluminum collar out there. Will you hand that to me?
yep. Do I need to clean inside of there at all? There's like junk inside.
No, that's fine. Yeah, I'm afraid this is going to space the starter out too much, but I kind of have to have it.
Yeah, exactly.
But the spacer makes it where you could actually use the hole, you know,
Right.
which is a common thing on Cummins to have a spacer in it. So we'll just cross our fingers.
Okay. The kid's coming with your other bolt.
What's that?
The kid's coming with the other bolt.
Okay.
She was getting the threads cleaned up for you.
Good.
Just a little bit.
That one goes to Aaron down there.
It's not much better. It's gonna be pretty tough to get on, but it's a little bit better.
Nah, that's a good one.
It fell off anyway, so. Oh, no, it didn't. That's what we want. That's what we want.
Yeah, that's fine. Use the other end and put that terminal on it.
Okay.
Because one side we're just going to be touching the battery.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, boy.
It's just an ammo box.
Who's that? Who did that?
Who did that? Starter test is happening.
Yeah, so my main concern is the end of that starter was a little bit shorter. So I was just not going to use the aluminum piece that went on it, but it turns out that aluminum piece is what centers it in the hole. Other trucks, like a Caterpillar, trucks like that, they don't have that collar on them. That's specifically a Cummins thing that I've noticed. So we had to use it, so I'm not sure the starter's going to engage far enough, but it'll be very clear if it doesn't. Ready to try it?
Yep.
Clear.
Clear. Oh. Oh my. Oh my gosh.
Now we have a starter.
Oh my gosh. Dude,
Yeah.
the rocker started going like everything.
Oh yeah.
It was turning it over, dude.
Yeah, so it's time for an oil pan, some oil. And we're not going to do a lot more to this engine before we start it. I want the valve covers off because I need to be able to see if there's oil getting to each rocker, because this stuff is all rusty. We tried to clean it out, but you know, never know. And I want to leave the exhaust off because I want to have a good feel of what temperature each port is. The only oil thing that is going to cause us an issue is the oil pressure going to the turbo. So you can see here I just stuck it down the turbo drain. So we effectively bypassed the turbo by doing that. But we do have one more kind of major problem going on. These hoses that we had built, $800 worth of hoses, they're not for these style fittings. They look the same, it screws on there, but this appears to be more of a fine thread pitch than this. So it's after closing hours now, so in the morning I'm gonna run with all my hoses and see if they make the correct end, and I'm hoping that they can just cut this collar off, pull this bad end off, put the new one on, and if they can't, fingers crossed, this stuff here, I know this is pipe thread, so hopefully they'll actually have the fittings that'll adapt to the newer style hoses. We'll just see, that's a big question mark. If it weren't for that, I think we'd be cranking this thing in about 30 minutes, but we're kind of stuck.
But we have a starter. That is amazing.
Just gonna see how fast it'll turn with this modern starter. It'll start. If it'll spin that fast, it'll start. So
Yep,
yes.
once it has fuel.
Fuel and oil. We're gonna put oil in it. We've got a compression release on this engine, so we can pull that out and spin this thing over very easily until we get oil pressure into everything, which is pretty cool. So we'll do that and then start it. Just gotta get the oil system buttoned up. Okay, I'm back at the hydraulic shop. Challenge is, this is a unique style fitting and they're all over that Peterbilt engine. This hose that looks exactly like it'll go on there is actually a different thread pitch. So we came up here to try to get the right ends put on it. They don't have them, but they do have these. Pipe thread to the new hoses we got. So they hooked me up with that, got it all squared away. I am gonna have to build a couple things on the truck. There are a few pieces on it that go to the block and the oil pan that they're cast iron. So that's gonna be a problem. So I'm gonna have to basically cut out a piece of metal, drill it, put threads in it for pipe thread so I can put one of these fittings in it. But, you know, on some of this old stuff, you just have to make it. You can't buy it. So thank goodness these guys are close by and they were willing to dig through their boxes and find the stuff I need. Helps me out a lot. We'll actually be able to get that truck running this week. I think that's gonna work. Go get some Teflon tape, get these put in. I've already got 2 put in the engine. Then I gotta deal with this. Somehow, not sure what I'm gonna do yet, but I've gotta get one of those fittings to adapt like this. We'll see. You can certainly see how they made those hoses wrong. That sure looks like the same fitting to me, but the thread pitch is a little bit different on it. Hard to even see with the eye, but luckily we got these fittings, so we're gonna make it work. So the tricky part and where I'm at now, this goes down the oil pan and it's got the thread pitch that is not gonna work with our new hoses. So we need to make it this. So I got some options. I either try to cut this off and thread it somehow, or I cut this gasket design out of a piece of like 1/4 inch steel, thread that, put a 90 degree on it, or I'm looking at my oil pan, I may be able to just put threads in that oil pan, we'll see. So this bolts to the oil pan right here. That is the main pickup. That's where all the oil is supplied to the engine. It's through this fitting. What I'm wondering is, can I get a tap and just tap that? Then we'll put a 90 degree pipe thread on here, send this up so it's like this. Looks like that's gonna work. That hole seems to be the exact size I need to put threads into. I gotta find the right tap that's an MPT that size. So this is the back of my oil pump. You see that's not gonna be a problem. We got the hose that goes in here, that end is actually MPT pipe thread, so we're not gonna deal with that one. This one we'll pull it out, put another one of those fittings in it. But my next biggest problem is this guy on the side of the block. I assume that's the return, where whatever the oil pump doesn't use, it sends it back through there. So I'm gonna have to build something for that. I don't currently like how this goes straight forward and we got that big, thick hydraulic hose. It's very hard to get it to bend, so I may have it come straight out. That way I can lay it up in this frame rail. But I basically have to redesign that piece. Okay. This is cast iron. So drilling that, tapping it, it can be done, but it's iffy. Somehow I gotta get these threads on there. If I completely rebuild this piece, if I cut it out of 1/4 inch steel, you know, that same pattern, 1/4 inch steel, and then put my fitting in the end, the challenge is I've got this guy. This is a drain, I believe, that comes from the accessory drive or possibly the air compressor. So that's gotta go into the oil pan one way or another. So I've got a couple options. I could cut this off, tap it, and plug it with a plug, and then grind all this down smooth and put mine right here, the one I need. But that's dangerously close to those bolt holes. That might make it very difficult to install. So I think my best option is slice this off, put pipe threads in there, then I can put a 90 degree on that, get my hose, or maybe a 45 would be better. But then at least it'll be converted to pipe thread, so it'll be stuff that I can use. Okay, it looks to me like where these threads are, this was actually cast a larger diameter. Now the inside diameter is the same, that's not a problem. But I'm afraid if I cut it off here and then go put my threads in it, that the walls of this will be too thin, because this is definitely thicker up here. So I think my best option is literally just tap into here. It's gonna look funky, but if I tap into there, then I can get my pipe thread in there. I can go get a 90 or whatever and get this going any way I want, as long as I can screw something in there. That would be the easiest fix. I can rebuild this, I've got the tools to do it, but I just think this will be faster and it'll serve the purpose just as well. So let me try to track down a tap and we'll go from there. And just cross our fingers this cast iron is gonna be able to be cut gently without actually cracking on us. That stuff's kind of sketchy. You never know how well it was cast back in the day. So I got it a tap. This is 3/4 inch NPT. I cannot find the right drill bit. So I'm gonna punch it out a little bit bigger and just see what we can do here. That's not gonna work because that bit's bent. It's making the hole bigger than it needs to be. So this tap requires a 59/64 drill bit, which I could not find, but I did find a 15/16. And if I look at the chart, those are pretty close. In fact, this one might be a little bit smaller, which is the direction I'd prefer it to go when we're talking about pipe thread. So I'm gonna try to cut this out again and see if we can actually get something going today. It is about 3 o'clock and we've done nothing. Well, she's been cleaning.
It's been a fun day actually for the kid and I, because we've been like really cleaning and organizing, picking up tools and staying out of Aaron's way while he deals with this kind of frustrating thing, but y'all, just shout out to Aaron for being such a persistent mofo. He's awesome.
Hard-headed. I don't know when to quit.
Persistent.
I've got nothing done on this, but if we can get these fittings made, it's go time. Well, this is the fitting that was on the oil pan. Again, wrong thread pitch. This is how I fixed it. Right there. I just drilled and tapped the pan itself where that thing was bolted to. Put me a little pipe in there, angle, and got my new fitting on there. I've got to go get another one. There's one fitting I didn't have, so I've got to go get a little piece of pipe to go in there. But before I do that, I'm going to glue this oil pan gasket on. Let it set up. That way it's kind of tacky. It's kind of holding itself in place. Because you can imagine that's a bit of a handful to put that thing up there and not bump the gasket anywhere. So we're going to get it glued on. That way it's kind of stuck down. So I'm using the easy disassembly. The kid scraped on this for about half a day, and then I was just over here for a while scraping to get it finalized. We're not going to have to worry about that anymore. Just had a wreck out in front of the shop.
Yeah.
We were in here, just got back from the parts store and heard the bang.
Yep.
Maybank firefighters were there before the people even got out of their car.
Yep. It was super fast.
By the time we walked to the front of the shop, the firefighters were pulling up. That's
Yep.
pretty awesome.
Shout out to the Davis family. Peyton and his dad, David, are on the fire department. And the mom, David's wife, Peyton's mom, is also like very integrated, and she jumped out of the fire truck and is directing traffic and everything out there. They're amazing. Love them.
All right. We always put a little daub of silicone where the front cover and the block meet. Same thing for the back, where the rear cover and the block meet, because it will leak right there.
Aaron is going in with the oil pan. I asked him if he wanted my help, and he's like, I've done a million of these, so. Getting the leg involved.
You got to.
I love it. This is great. Heroic family. Great folks doing service for our community, and I love that. Check out the O'Reilly banner I put up today with all my spare time. Yeah. Driving across the lake, looking at the sunset, headed home. We're so thankful to live where we do. We love this area, and living in my grandparents' lake house has been so awesome. Wonderful chapter to our lives. Aaron really put in some work today, like really put in some diligent work. I'm so proud of him, and I really feel like tomorrow we're going to hear this thing come to life with that oil system. He got the pan up. Tomorrow the hoses will go on, be able to fill it full of oil, and freaking get a fuel system hacked in there. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. We'll see y'all in the morning. Well, that's a way to wake up. Get it, guys. Yeah.
Okay, maybe I need a blower on the 57.
Cue everybody in the comment section. When are you guys going to get back to your 57 Chevy?
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
Well, yeah.
We have a new shop now, so we have room. We just have to get things over there. Get the little body shop set up in our new shop.
Yes. So when we first started that build, we were like, this is going to be our first really good restoration. We're going to take our time. We're not going to rush this. And as it turned out, those episodes, like when we work for a week replacing a floor pan and we're doing metal work and it's like intricate stuff that we're not rushing, that doesn't make very interesting episodes. And not many people were watching them. So we kind of had to take an assessment. The fact that we do YouTube for our job, we have to make decisions for episodes that are going to get views, because that's how we eat money. I mean, that's how we eat food, with money. Yeah, anyway, words. I think I need more coffee.
Yeah, it's the same thing with the boat. We've got a lot of really time-consuming, not interesting work to do on both of those projects. And with moving into the new shop, we are so busy trying to get an episode out and being disoriented in a new environment. Once we get things settled down, get all of our tools where we need them, we'll be able to put in 2 or 3 hours at night, film it, put that in the log, and then we can pump an episode out of more of that boring stuff that you know is not going to make a good episode. But it's in the plan. Don't worry, we are going to get there. We're just transitioning to this new shop, and we're having to change things up. I mean, a lot of you guys have probably moved before, and it's a mess for a while, and we're in that position right now. But we're doing our best to still get good episodes out, and we do not forget about projects. We always get them fixed. Sometimes they just have to go on the shelf for a minute.
Yep. Yeah, if you look through our playlist of builds and vehicles, they're all drivers. Like pretty much everything that we've ever worked on are drivers. And if you build stuff yourself, you know nothing's ever really done. You drive something, you find weak links, you modify. So like finishing a project is laughable.
Yeah, so, I would argue that it's probably a bad idea to build your dream car and then the first time you drive it is after you've spent thousands of dollars and you go out and you realize it's not what you want at all. So we try to drive our stuff, get to know it, get to learn it, and then we modify as we go. But for now, we're at O'Reilly. We're gonna pick up some oil, like a lot of oil, because that truck needs a lot.
Oh my gosh.
Flying Sparks garage. We're carrying in oil, you know it's an exciting day. Right. This is our main suction tube. It draws the oil from the bottom of the oil pan. And what I'm putting it into is the oil pump. Get this one on and then got a whole bunch more hoses to hook up.
This thing might be making some noise coming up here shortly.
Hopefully the right noise. It's gonna make some noise, but hopefully the right noise.
I'm gonna climb on top of this here fender and dump some oil in this bad boy. Y'all know we're going with the O'Reilly 1540 for them old diesels and tractors. Don't see any hitting the ground yet, do you?
No, it's good so far.
That crankshaft gonna be slinging oil pretty dang soon.
There's no new oil on the floor. Nice. Our pretty hoses we put in there. Clearly, we've got to do some arranging and get them mounted up where they need to be. But no leaks. I love it. All right, I just unhooked our main fuel line right there. This wire right here is the one that runs the pump. It's coming out here. We're not going to plug that in just yet. The return line is right there. The return line I'm going to leave hooked up because I want it to draw some new diesel and push all those old lines clean. It'll return to the old tanks, doesn't matter, we're not gonna use those. But first, we're gonna leave the fuel unhooked. We're gonna leave the fuel solenoid turned off because I wanna spin this thing over, get some oil pressure. Then we'll introduce fuel and start actually trying to start it.
Mr. Grimes gonna offer some diesel up to Grandpa.
That's right. I mean, I could go to the gas station that's right there. But
This is easier, it's in the driveway.
this diesel's paid for.
Yeah.
Apparently these are tamper-proof tanks. There's like a cage down in there. You can't get your hose in. Nobody's gonna steal my diesel.
Exactly, people can't siphon our diesel.
Yeah.
Not even ourselves.
Right.
That's funny.
Got it. Diesel pump was a little bit slow. I tried to fill my truck up and sat there for like 10 minutes and got maybe half a gallon. It's always a sign that the filter stopped up. So I said, nope, that's not going in my truck, but it will go in the old Peterbilt.
So Aaron is inside the truck. He said the oil pressure gauge looks to still be hooked up, so
Yeah. Oops, sorry.
it's okay.
I elbowed you guys.
It's okay. They're all right. Aaron got that shot figured out. And so you guys will have a great view of the oil pressure. Hopefully oil pressure.
Hopefully oil pressure.
And I opened all the doors so that we have fresh air coming in.
Yep.
Because hopefully we see a bunch of smoke.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, obviously we're not hooking up the cooling system. Belts don't matter right now. All we're trying to do is get oil pressure up there. Once we get oil pressure, then we'll introduce some fuel and we'll see what happens.
Alrighty. He's got me over here on the compression release to hopefully make it easier to turn over.
There's just no point in building compression while you're trying to get oil pressure up. If you got an option to release the compression, why not?
Yeah.
All right, we'll spin it a little bit, and since you're up there, be watching down inside there for oil to come through.
Okay.
Because the challenge is, she's there, I'm here, the oil pressure gauge is inside the truck.
Yes,
Fuel-
we're just turning it over.
I don't have the fuel turned
Rub,
on.
rub, 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 rub.
Yep.
And then the oil's gonna come up through the spring because that's the push rod.
It'll come into
Kind of
that center rack here. It'll be kind of leaking around the,
Okay.
and you'll see oil at the top of the
Because
valve.
the push tubes are where the oil comes up
Yep.
from. Okay.
Yep, so we'll just spin it a little bit and
Okay,
see.
awesome.
Clear?
Clear. I'm not seeing any oil movement up here yet.
Okay, well, I mean, it doesn't surprise me just yet.
I mean, I know that wasn't that long.
But let's look at our fittings.
We could watch that video over and see if we get any oil pressure.
Yeah, I'll look in there.
But dang, that starter just sounds like it's doing work.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Nope, none yet.
Okay.
We'll spin a little more.
Okay.
Here we go. I can hear air in the airbags, or the air tanks.
I was gonna ask what that was.
Yeah. We just don't want that starter to get too hot.
Right.
Because even though the compression's released, it's still working its butt off.
Yeah.
Okay, we had a rise.
That's exciting. But you guys knew that. But we just found out.
Yeah. So,
And I'm looking at the seam between each rocker, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so that's what I'm staring at as I go down.
Hey, I know
I do think
I've got oil right here because I probably never tightened that.
yeah, so I think I'm hearing some squirting up. Oh yes, I see some moisture in these.
I love it.
Yes! Yes!
It's not hard to get to, but I'm still struggling.
Yep, we got some oil in these seams. It's awesome.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was dripping from here, so I knew it finally got oil pressure.
It was making its way up. Great.
Cool.
Miss.
We're there. It's time to run wire to that fuel pump and see if it clicks or not.
Heck yes.
See if that solenoid kicks.
It sure is a kicking.
Okay, so what you're going to do is pull it, and then I'll tell you to release it. And that's when the engine should attempt to grab.
Okay. Oh man.
I hear the oil.
Yeah, me too. Okay. Fuel pressure?
Yeah, it's probably going to take a little while to get fuel pressure up because it wouldn't have been circulating with that
Right.
solenoid
It's
off.
not primed.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and pull the compression release again and we'll spin it for a little while. All right, here we go.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. Not sure we're getting fuel just yet.
Do we need to crack? I always think about like cracking fuel rails or
Yeah,
cracking
this is a different
injectors.
style.
Does this style get air in the lines or is it just getting it up to the injector?
Yeah, I mean, it will get air in the lines. It's not one you have to bleed.
Okay.
It's our high pressure fuel going into it. We loosen this here and see if we have fuel coming out of the pump into this. Just gonna make sure that solenoid's kicking one more time.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going. So I guess let me get a couple wrenches and I'll loosen that fuel line.
Sure sounds good turning over.
Yeah, I don't hear anything that seems weird. All this stuff has been asleep for a very long time, so we just gotta wake it back up as gently as we possibly can. That's plenty loose to leak fuel out. Okay, compression release, you watch that. See if we have fuel coming out of there.
Ready.
Okay, so we're getting no fuel.
No?
I love hearing the oil pressure gurgle through there.
Me too.
Okay, so that
Yeah.
is the main fuel going into it, isn't it? Pretty sure that's the supply, and that's the return. So the pictures I'm looking on those old PT pumps, the big hose coming out of the back of it, which I thought was the main supply line. I think it is because a lot of the other pictures have a fuel filter mounted right there in that location. So I'm pretty confident that big one is actually the supply line from the tank, which I have running into a fuel can. I've never really seen those PT pumps just go out. Bear in mind, this stuff is a little before my time, but I've still worked on a lot of big cams, which has a similar pump. I don't often see them just go out. They may run funny, but they don't just stop. So I'm thinking maybe our solenoid's not opening all the way. So I think we'll attempt to open it manually. It was pretty dry. No, if I screw that in, we'll have fuel. The O-ring in there's just real stiff. It's not one to let it turn. It's like springing back. So now if it starts, one way we have to turn it off is to unscrew this.
If it cranks up, then I'll have to screw that tight to shut off the fuel.
You have to unscrew it.
Unscrew it. So
I'm going to leave it loose enough where it can be done with fingers in the middle of a panic.
okay, cool.
So, but first we're going to see if we have fuel here. We basically, all we're doing there is bypassing the solenoid. That doesn't mean it won't start. Okay, we got the mechanical solenoid on this set to run. So we still have fuel line unhooked. We're going to spin it over, see if we have fuel now, and see if we can get something going here. Ready?
Yep. Yes.
Okay,
Heck
now we got
yes.
fuel. So the electronic solenoid just wasn't working.
We've got fuel. This is awesome.
All right.
Heck yeah. Immediate fuel too.
Good. Yeah, so reach down in there and do a trial run with turning this thing off.
You said I'm turning it left?
You're unscrewing it, yeah.
Okay. It got to a point where it stopped.
Yep. Now screw it in until it's as tight as you want it.
How tight do I want it?
Well, you'll feel when it bottoms out, and you just don't want to
Back
make it
it
so
off.
tight that you can't back it off easily. I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to find a large book, if I can, in the shop somewhere,
To put up here?
and we just snuff it out if we have to.
Okay.
You always did that with old Detroits, because they run up their 2-cycle, and if there was oil built up in them, or if the rack was hung open, they would just run away like crazy. So you always had a book to put over it. That fit over the top of it. Yeah, that'll work. We're talking about serious compression here, so you don't want to get your hand there. It'll pull you into it. So just set the book on top.
Okay.
I'm going to turn this solenoid off. That way, if you get ready to unscrew it, this doesn't also hold it open.
So all of a sudden, I'm very intimidated by this engine, and I can't back up. I can't. Am I in an okay place right
You're
here?
fine.
Okay.
You just watch for stuff that's
My
moving.
foot's not in the pulley.
Yeah.
It's fine. You might just get stuck into it. I'm like, don't be such a baby.
Yeah. Minor details.
Oh, jeez.
Compression release. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Okay.
And quick question that I forgot to ask in case it had cranked up. Am I in charge of shutting it off with that? Or will you be able to shut it off with?
It will only like shut it off in an emergency if it's like puking all the oil out or something.
Okay, but am I the one that shuts it off?
No, I'll come over there and do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is how we're shutting it off though?
Yep.
Okay, got it.
So we'll go ahead and do the compression release again. Make sure your solenoid's screwed all the way in.
Okay,
It
it's
is?
snug, but it's not tight.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, compression
We
release
were getting
on?
smoke this time.
Yes, we
so
were.
that's
It was
good.
a puff, 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 puff,
Yep.
puff, 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 puff.
Yep.
Okay, compression release on. I'm only seeing puffs of smoke out of these two manifolds.
Yeah, I'm only seeing those two as well. I mean, these injectors also had a lot of rust in them, and if we can get it to fire, it may take a minute to do its thing. So let's go ahead and spin it some more.
Say a little prayer for you. Okay, compression release
Yep,
on.
here we go. Hey,
I mean,
yeah, they're
We're
starting to come
getting
back to
more.
life. We'll try it again, and we'll release that a lot earlier now.
okay. shut it off.
Yeah, so number 5 is not working, and I'm noticing this isn't going up and down.
Holy cow, dude, it runs.
Yeah, friggin' awesome.
This is great. Oh my gosh. That was nuts. It cranked up and it like fogged that whole side of the truck.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't see you.
Pretty wild.
Aaron, and it sounds good.
It does. We've got a dead cylinder here, and this rocker's not rocking.
Yeah, that was really crazy. Hot, cold right there.
Yeah, that's
Cylinder
why.
number 5?
Yep, number 5. That's why we leave that off when we initially start them, or when we're looking for a bad injector. So you can just put your hand in front of it, and you can tell the difference in the heat. So I got to figure out why this was not rocking like all the rest. My push tube is in place. Oh yeah, it ran great, just like I expected it to.
Oh my God.
And when it like almost died,
Yeah.
so these old Cummins are like that. And so my brain was going, okay, I know it does this. It's going to come back. It's going to balance out. Yep. This injector's locked up, I think.
All right, he's going in.
Yeah, so the truck sounds great, but we are down a cylinder. Number 5 is down. And I was noticing when it was sitting there running, this rocker wasn't rocking like it should be. So I'm going, before we run it anymore, I don't want to tear something up. I think that injector's locked up, so I'm going to take this apart. We'll get this rear box off and mess with those injectors. Those things are very old and or very rusty.
The jungle gym of bars.
Yeah, any smart person would have removed all this stuff. So that injector, it's stuck down. That's what's happened. That's why it wasn't moving, because the injector's already stuck down. We're gonna fix that.
How will we ever paint this truck? Because if these fenders are nice, how are we ever going to get on this engine to work on it?
We're gonna fix the engine before we paint it.
But
Oh, we don't have to work on it.
that's impossible. We're always going to have to work on our junk. Come on, that's realistic, right? How are we ever going to... I mean, if it's shiny and perfect, I don't know, guys. I'm not convinced. Oh, wow. It was stuck down.
See what I do for you guys? Because I want to show you what I'm doing. I'm now magneted to my truck.
Magneted.
Happens all the time.
Magneted. Or magnetized, just plain stuck, like your injector.
Yep.
Dang.
I'll get this cleaned up a little bit. Sure, there's carbon down inside there. I'd much rather it be stuck down like that than stuck in the up position, because that would have been a push tube. So we're just going to go in with some assembly lube and...
It's over on the counter over there. I organized, i.e. put everything where he didn't know where it was. Away. Oh boy. Oh dear. Oh my.
There's just some crud down in there.
Time to hear this thing pop off again.
Yeah, we got that injector unstuck. I'm not confident that it isn't going to stick again. So we're going to try it without the compression release. Now that we've upgraded to the newer style starters, it should turn it fine. So we're going to do that, see if it'll crank up, and see if that injector hangs down again. Here we go. Clear prop. It's stuck down again. I may have to take the injector out and clean it out. But I also may just back it off a little bit. Do you see that other pry bar I had up here? There we go.
Rock and roll.
All right, give me some fuel.
Okay, incoming.
So number 5 was stuck down again. We can see number 4 is slobbering diesel out. So we really need to get these injectors worked on, but we'll see if that one comes back around. We're gonna let it run a little bit longer.
Goodness me.
I guess now we know why I'm deaf.
Dude, that is so loud.
Yeah, it's
It
real loud.
sounds insane.
Yep, it's running really good. That number 5 is wanting to stick up, but whatever, stick down in this case. Have 40 pounds of oil pressure. Everything seems to be oiling up here perfectly. And we got one heck of an engine here.
I wish y'all could hear it. Like, I know it just blows the speakers out of everything. Like,
Yeah.
our poor mics are probably like, what the heck? We don't have a setting for this.
Yeah,
But, geez, this thing is a runner.
yep. It's doing great. I don't see an oil leak on it. No coolant leaks.
No coolant leaks.
There's no coolant
That's
in
a
it.
good
but
one.
Yeah,
I can't believe we have a running truck. The 53 is a runner.
absolutely. We've got number 5 injector that's hanging down occasionally. We have number 4 that's slobbering diesel out of it. None of them have been set because I can't find the factory spec on them. So we've got some work to do there. Probably gonna find some new injectors for it eventually. But that doesn't matter because we have a whole truck to build before this thing actually needs to run much. We got to put rear ends in it. We got to put a front axle in it. All kinds of cool stuff. So now we got to run an engine. It sounds really healthy. I'm
Sounds
super excited
amazing.
about it.
I can't believe it.
Pretty cool.
So freaking rad. We cannot thank you guys enough for being here. And giant thanks to Permatex. I know you guys do an awesome job buying their products and showing your support in the comment section. It makes a big difference to these guys. So obviously it makes a giant difference to us too, because here we are making videos for you guys on these builds and putting our hearts and souls into getting these neat old trucks back on the road. We have lots to look forward to on this build, and we will take you guys along with us. We'll see you on the next upload.